Good afternoon. It's June 22nd, 2026, and it's a Monday. Here in Sherbrooke, it is currently 23 degrees Celsius, 73 degrees Fahrenheit. It is cloudy. It hasn't started raining yet, but it's supposed to rain. I'll get into that in a bit more detail in a moment. The sun this morning rose at 4:59 a.m. and it's going to set at 8:39 p.m. I somehow missed the summer solstice. It was last night. I was preoccupied. I'll get into that in a bit more detail in a bit. It's 15 hours and 40 minutes of sunlight. I've got a few things to talk about. Yesterday, so I was supposed to go see the Bug Club yesterday, which is one of my favorite bands, but unfortunately my friend who was supposed to drive there with me had to work. I even explored going on my own. It would have been very expensive. Although a friend of mine, another friend of mine told me about these, there's this hotel that has these pods, and it was really cheap. It was $40. I don't know if they charge tax on that. It's $40-$45, something like that. And yeah, it seems like a very Japanese thing. You just get this coffin-sized thing to sleep in. But yeah, I also going all the way over there for a show alone. Then I gotta buy food, and it was raining too. So it's I'm not even gonna go hang out outside and read a book or something. I decided not to go. Also, the new album is good, but I don't like it that much. I've listened to it several times. It's not fully clicking. It's good, but I just keep going back to Rare Bird's Hour of Song and Green Dream in F sharp. So I looked at the set list. That's actually something that let me know in the comments what you think. I think it might be a somewhat controversial thing. Do you look at set lists for touring bands? If you're thinking of going to a show, or if you are going to a show, do you check to see if you can see what the set list is like for the tour beforehand? I do. I know some people like the surprise. And I guess maybe I'm spoiling the surprise for myself, because when I do get surprised, I enjoy it. When Deerhoof played Twin Killers, when I saw them, I let out a scream of delight, which somebody recorded the show. You can hear me just screaming when the first notes of Twin Killers are heard. I don't know how much space I have left on my phone. Can I? I don't think I can check. Okay, I'll try to make this quick, because if I don't have enough space, this video is going to just stop. Okay, so I want to talk about yesterday. I was very motivated. Otherwise, I wanted to be proactive. So I went and I did some janitorial work, which I didn't finish because I was just fed up and I was very hungry. Still having difficulty eating. But I made pico de gallo yesterday. I bought tortillas from there's a shop that makes fresh corn tortillas. I'm really excited about corn tortillas in my life. I'll get into it a bit more later. But I bought some. It was expensive. It's 40 cents a tortilla. Small ones, about this big. It was $10 for 40 tortillas. Still really delicious tortillas, and as fresh as they can get. They were still warm when I bought them. I've eaten a lot of tortillas since yesterday. And then I bought, because it released the game Hive, and I have a pocket version. I'll show you this, which I carry around everywhere. Hive is sort of like chess, except there's no board. And so look. There are these little hexagons with insects on them, And each insect moves in a particular way. It's really cool. It's really fun. And I bought a bigger version with the expansion, Pillbook expansion. But look how big. So they're black and white, but look how much bigger they are. It's crazy. It's so satisfying to play with these. I haven't played yet, but hopefully maybe going to do that today. In front of we found some old like Magic the Gathering like pre-constructed decks from the 90s at his parents' house, and he really wants to start playing Magic the Gathering, so I'm going to go play with him, hopefully later. But yeah, here's the thing that happened yesterday with food. So I won't say who it is because I don't want to like talk shit about her food necessarily when maybe I'm the problem. There is a YouTube channel, and I must have like first stumbled upon this YouTube channel like a decade ago, and it's this woman who she hasn't uploaded in like a few years, but she's just this like sweet Mexican woman, and she cooks. She makes videos cooking Mexican food, and she's like sweet Mexican mom, and like her food looks so delicious. And I've been thinking about it for years, but I'm just because I have difficulty like getting organized to make food, and anything that's more like elaborate than I don't know. It doesn't matter. Not that her recipes are that elaborate necessarily, but it's just like I just never got around to it. And now this is like so like I followed a recipe for beef tacos and for pico de gallo, and I don't know if I fucked something up. I followed the recipe pretty much to the letter. It just wasn't that good. And now I'm thinking like, no, but did I fuck something up in the recipe, or is maybe her food isn't that good? Which would be like a huge like deception. But I mean, getting into good food later, I had an experience with a dessert that I have to talk about. But first I want to talk about my doppelganger. So, this is a story which may span a few years. So, let's go back a year. So a year ago, there was construction near my apartment, which led to a lot of detours. So like, a big stretch of this, significant road in the area, I'll say. This pretty big stretch was like closed off. And one day I was just like walking around, and I think I was just like trying to explore the detours, right? To see if there was like an easier way to like, if I had to go in this one direction that I don't really go in very often. Anyway, just trying to get the lay of the land of the detours. And there was this construction worker who was doing signaling. I don't know how you would say that in English. In French, it says signalisation. Signaling, I guess, but basically just like she was directing traffic. And as I walk by her, she says hi to me. And I say hi to her. And she says, "Oh, you're not here with your daughter today." And I say, "Pardon me?" And she says, "You're not here with your daughter." And I tell her, I don't have a daughter. And then she pauses and squints her eyes and looks at me. And she says, "Well, there's someone around here who looks just like you." And I know her intent wasn't to say it in like a menacing way, but it seemed sort of menacing, sort of Lynchian. Really, really like, I felt like for one moment like I was in a David Lynch movie. I said, okay. And so then last year, again last year, but during the winter, I think, a friend of mine, I was working with him one day, and when I get to work, he says, "Hey, I saw you yesterday." And I said, I asked him where. He said, I saw you, you were walking back on College Street like on the way back from Lennoxville. I told him, like, I wasn't walking there yesterday. And he says, like, oh, well, then there was somebody who looked just like you. Like, he looked like you, and he had the same gait. Like, he was walking in the same way. I said, really? Well, it's funny because... And then I explained to him the story with the construction worker. And so I'm like, I guess I have a doppelganger. And then, this year, last spring, I was walking back from Lennoxville, actually. I ended up walking to Lennoxville, going up Belvedere, and then turning up left on College Street, and then going to Lennoxville. So on the way back, I'm on Belvedere Sud, almost a short, and there's this car that just, like, brakes suddenly and, like, stops, like, right ahead of me. And this car has its passenger side window open. And there's a young woman. I don't see her face because of the angle, like, far enough ahead of me. But I sort of see this, like, the side of her face, and she just screams something at me. She's very angry. But it happens really fast. She just screams something at me. And then just, like, flips me off really aggressively, like, out the window, like, yeah. And then speeds off. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then I think, what if it's what if she thinks I'm this other guy that, I mean, I think, like, lives in the neighborhood. I mean, why else would he be, like, walking very often with his daughter, like, pretty much right next to my house? Anyway. And so I'm like, okay, well, was I mistaken for my doppelganger? And is my doppelganger an asshole? And so, just a couple days ago, like last week, I go to the dep near my house, and there's a man hanging out in the parking lot. So, like, I'm locking up my bike. He seems high on amphetamines, which is fine. He was a nice guy. But he starts talking to me about, like, my bike lock. He's like, I'm locking up my bike, and he's like, it doesn't really matter. And so I go in the dep and do my transaction, come out, and he's like at the edge of the parking lot, right next to the sidewalk, and he's like looking at a man on a bike, but like a bike with like a child seat in the back, and with a child in the seat. The bike is going away from the dep. And and then when I open the door, I see he's looking there, and he's looking back, and he does like a double take. And like and the cyclist with his child, it was like he had just passed like the angle where I could even see like the side of his face. So he was like I could just see like the corner of his ear, you know. And then he's like, hey, that's your Susie. He says, like, c'est ton Susie. And I'm like, what? And it's like, c'est dégueulasse. C'est ton Susie. Like, that guy, he's your Susie. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, oh, he means sosie, which is the French word for doppelganger. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, that guy looked just like you. If you hadn't just like went in the store, I would have, and I'd seen you before, I would have thought it was you. And so I tell him the story, everything up to this point, and I'm like, this is the guy. I just missed him. And then, actually that might have been 2 weeks ago. And then, I kid you not, I'm biking to work, and I'm late for work, and I'm really hungover. I'm biking on Alexandre Street, and I'm going up the hill, and I'm actually biking on this. No, I'm walking. I'm not going up the hill because my bike transmission is fucked up, and it's really hard to go up hills because the lowest gear, or highest gear, I don't really know how that works. But the gear which allows you to go up is broken. And so, actually, it's not broken. It's just like my transmission just refuses to go into that gear. And so I'm walking on the sidewalk, and I'm crossing the school. There's a school, and which when there's no school, kids play or whatever. So yeah, I'm walking on the sidewalk, and like sitting on a bench, there's a man. And as I'm walking up with my bike, I'm seeing that the man has a bike, and he's wearing a bike helmet. And it's the same bike that I saw that my doppelganger was riding. The same bike, same helmet. And I'm like, what the hell? And like, there's kids playing, there's Shirley watching his kid. His daughter that he walks around with in my neighborhood. And I turn to him, and we lock eyes. And he sort of looks like me. I mean, yeah, he does look like me, but it was really disappointing. He doesn't look that much like me. Anyway, so, talking about food. I've been having a really difficult time recently. I've been having a difficult time eating as well. But, yeah, like, there's been days where... Anyway. I hadn't eaten this day, and I was... you know what? I'm going to keep this story for another time. This video is already long enough. Remind me to talk about this dessert. Today I'm thinking about the song Monte Carlo / No Limits by Ryan Davis and the Roadhouse Band. I'm supposed to go see Ryan Davis and the Roadhouse Band on Wednesday with the same friend who couldn't make it to the Bug Club. I really hope that this works out. If it doesn't work out with my friend, I might actually just spend the fucking money and just stay there and stay in one of those pods because I can't miss this show. I've been looking at set lists, and he doesn't always play it, but there's at least a show recently where he played Bluebirds Revisited, which is... I love that song so much, which I talked about before. But he's playing some songs from the new record, but also from Dancing on the Edge, which I like the new record. This song is from the new record. A new record. It came out last year, the most recent record. I like it a lot. But yeah, the first record I really, really love. This is the second song on the record. I think it should have been the first song, but I don't know. And the first song, which is the title track, is, in my opinion, too long. Although I came to terms with that last summer. This album was pretty much the soundtrack to last summer. I listened to it a lot last summer. And the song's just really good. You should check it out. The lyrics are really good. I find it very catchy. I don't want to spoil it, but there's like instrumental passage in the middle of the song, which is very funny. It's a very strange decision, but I think it works. It's very fun. What else? I sort of want to go outside, but it's supposed to rain now-ish. Let me check. It's raining. It's not raining yet. It's cloudy. It's supposed to rain. Well, there's a 51% chance of rain. Let's see what the hourly forecast is. Now there's a 55% chance of rain at 4 p.m. 52% chance at 5. Yeah, it's supposed to be raining for the rest of the day. I think I might be staying home, unless it ends up that my friend wants to hang out and play Magic the Gathering. Okay. Yeah, I also need to talk to somebody to confirm for a show that I'm booked for, but I haven't heard any news in a while. And so I can start. It might be a good thing to do this afternoon. It's just really finalize the set list and then send it out to everybody. Later today, it's supposed to say relatively warm, 23 degrees Celsius, 72 degrees Fahrenheit at 4 p.m. Let me just do this. Going down to 22 degrees Celsius, again 72 degrees Fahrenheit, 5 p.m. Slowly going down. It's on and off showers. Ranging between 48% and 66% chance of precipitation. Going down to 20 degrees Celsius at 8 p.m., 67 degrees Fahrenheit, leaving us off at 17 degrees Celsius, 63 degrees Fahrenheit at the end of the night. So it's still going to be warm even tonight, and it's pretty humid all day. So yeah, most likely not really going to be going very far. Although it's going to remain cloudy and it's going to be wet, I'm gonna stay positive. I'm gonna stay positive, and think about this dessert. If I do a weather report tomorrow, I'll tell you about the dessert. Everyone, have a great rest of your